Hello and thanks for watching Best Maths Tutors. I'm going through the Edexcel Foundation Tier Paper 3 from 2019 and we're starting at question 1 here and we're covering all the questions, so if you find this helpful please consider subscribing to our channel. So question 1 says write 478 to the nearest 100. So in order to do that, if we write the number here 478, we need to think about what the columns mean. So this is the units column, this is the tens column, and so this one is the hundreds column. So we're going to write it to the nearest 100. And what we have to do is, that means we're going to cut it off at this point here. So we're either going to write 400 or actually we're going to put the 4 up to a 5 depending upon what the next column is. So we can see that's a 7, and because it's 5 or more, that means we add 1 to the next number along, to the 4. And so we're going to add 1 to the 4. And what that's going to give us is, it's going to give us, adding 1 to the 4 gives us 5, and then we've got to keep it in the right place, so it's still got to be in the hundreds column. So we're writing zeros after that to keep it as 500. So that's that first one done. The next one, we've got to write down a multiple of 8. That's between 41 and 60. So there's lots of different correct answers for this. I say a lot, so actually there's 2 different correct answers for this one. A multiple of 8 means a number that is in the 8 times table. So a number that's in the 8 times table. So if we wrote out the 8 times table, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, we're not quite in that range, 41 to 60 yet. So if we go on again, 48, that one is in that range. That's between 41 and 60. And the other alternative would be the next number along, which is 56. That's also in that range. And then if we keep going, we'll actually get 64, which is out of that range. So that's more than 60. So we're picking either 48 or 56. So I'm just going to write down one of them. But either one, either 48 or 56 will be correct. For the next one, number 3, we've got to change 1.5 kilometers into meters. And to do that, we need to know that 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. And it's true usually whenever we've got the kilo, so we might have the K for kilo. When we've got grams, we've got, if we're looking at grams, we've got 1,000 grams is actually equal to 1 kilogram. So a kilo there makes it 1,000 times bigger. And so if we're going to write 1.5 kilometers, in meters, then actually, because when it's written in meters, I've got a number that's 1,000 times bigger than what it would be if it was written in kilometers, I've got to times this figure, the 1.5, by 1,000. So 1.5 times 1,000 meters. And to times something by 1,000 isn't too difficult really, because all we need to do is move the decimal point 3 places to the right. So we could write the 1.5 and a few zeros after it, and then we're going to move the decimal point 1, 2, 3 places, so we can see it comes after that second 0. So in fact, this would be 1,500 meters. So that's that one done. So now we're going to look at question 4. So question 4, we've got a list of numbers here, and we've got from the list, write down all the numbers that are powers of 3. So a power of 3, for example, could be this. That's 3 to the power 2. or 3 squared. And so that means 3 times 3. We could also have, so that would give us 9. We could also have 3 to the power 1 as well. So it doesn't have to be 2 or more, it could be 3 to the power 1. And that would just be 3. If we have 3 to the power 3, so raising the power here, the number there, the power, that one, tells me how many times I'm going to multiply the number by itself. So that's going to be 3 times 3 times 3. Well, we know 3 times 3 gave us 9. So if I times 9 by 3, I'm going to get 27. So that's 3 to the power 3 is 27. And 3 to the power 4, if I look at the next power, that would be equal to 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 4 times, because we've got a 4 there. So we knew that the 3 times 3 times 3 there gave us 27. So this will look a bit simpler if I write it as 27 times 3. And so I could use column multiplication, or because I'm on the calculator paper, you could just do this on the calculator, but I'm going to show us how to do it now this way. So 3 sevens is 21. So write down the 1, carry the 2 into the next column. 3 times 2 is 6, and then plus the 2 that we've carried will give us 8, so it's 81. And I'm now going to just look at, so we'll just write that down just to make sure we are clear that 3 to the 4 is equal to 81. So we're looking at numbers in this list. So we're seeing which ones of these, 9, 27, the 3 if it was there, and the 81 are in that list. So we can see that we've got 9 is there, and we can also see that we've got 27. So they're all the numbers in this list that are powers of 3 are 9 and 27. So we're going to move on now. We're going to look at question 5. So question 5 says, write 19% as a fraction. So we have to think, what does percent mean? So percent actually means per 100. We can think of cent is what always means cent. If we add that into a word, it usually means 100, because we've got, for example, century is 100 years. So per cent means per 100. And so to convert this into a fraction, that just means 19 per 100, which we can write as 19 over 100. And often we might get asked to cancel this down into a simpler fraction, but in fact, in this case, there's no number that will go into both 19 and 100, which we'd have to find if we were simplifying this. So that is our answer, 19 over 100. So if we continue with the paper now, we're on question 6. I've got to work out 20% of 80. And the easiest way to do this, if we were on a non-calculator paper, and I think it's still the easiest way, even though we are on a calculator paper, is first of all to find 10% of 80. And 10% can be found by moving the decimal point one place to the left. So currently it's there just after the 0, and we can move it one place back. So 10% of 80 is equal to just 8.0, which is just 8. And if we're after 20%, or 20% is 2 times what 10% is. So we're going to have to do the same to the 8, we have to times that by 2 as well. So 20% is actually 2 8s, is 16, and that's that. So now looking at question 7, then what we've got is there's 4 types of counter in a bag. So the table is showing the number of each type of counter in the bag. So we can see here we've got red circles, we've got 16 of. Green circles, we've got 26 of. Red squares, we've got 11 of. Green squares, we've got 7 of. So how many more green counters than red counters are there? So it says there are more green counters than red counters, so how many more? So we need to add this up, so we can see that for the red, what we've got is 16 plus the 11. So we could do that in columns if we want. 16 plus 11 is going to be 27. And for the green, we've got to add the 26 and the 7 up. So 26 plus 7. So we're going to add the 6 and the 7 together, gives 13, carry the 1. Right down 3, carry 1. And we're going to go 2 plus the 1 we carried is 3. So that's equal to 33. So what's the difference between that? So we need to know how many more green than red. So we're going to actually subtract the red from the green. So we're going to go green minus red. And to do that, we can say 33 minus 27. And we're going to have to borrow from this 3 here to make that a 2. Carry that onto there, makes that 13. So 7 from 13 gives us 6. And then we've got 2, and 2 from 2 is 0. So the answer is, it's 6. We've got 6 more. If we move on now, question 8. So we can see that we've got a gauge from a fuel tank of a car. And so currently it's a quarter full, as we can see. So it's split into quarter, half and 3/4. So currently it's 1/4 full. And it says the tank holds 52 litres of fuel when the tank is full, and the tank is 1/4 full of fuel. So we've got to work out how many more litres of fuel are needed to fill the tank. Well, we could work out, I think the easiest way is to work out what is 1/4, how many litres. So I'm going to work out how many litres is 1/4. So to do that, we're going to go 1/4 of the full tank, 52. And to do that, we to multiply by a fraction, we divide by the bottom of the fraction. So we've got to go 52 divided by 4. And then we times the result of this by the top of the fraction. So we can see 4 goes into 5 once, carry the 1, and the 1 is the remainder. So it goes into 5 once, remainder 1, carry that remainder. And so we've got 4 into 12 now, so that's 3. And it goes in exactly. So if we were then to times by the top, we'd have 1 times 13, which is just 13 litres. So we can see that when the tank is a quarter full, it's got 13 litres in it. But we want to know how many more litres are required to fill the tank. Well, if when it's full, we've got 52 litres, and when it's a quarter full, that means we've got 13 litres. If we were to take the 13 from the 52, that would tell us how much more we require. So I'm going to take that away from that. So I'm going to borrow from the 5, that makes that 4, and put that in that column. So that becomes a 10 in that column, so that's 12. And so we're going 3 from the 12 is 9, and 1 from the 4 there will give us 3. So we need 39 more litres. So So I'll just write that down here actually in the space provided. So there we go. So I hope that's been helpful to you. We will be covering all the questions on this paper. So if you find it helpful, please consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. Thanks for watching.